Welcome back, guys. Where should I start? Basically, I feel like ever since we moved to a new place, like I've just been out of whack with everything, just like no desire to do a thing. Basically, I feel like ever since we moved to a new place, like I've just been out of whack with everything, just like no desire to do a thing. Um, yeah, so that's always fun. But as you can see from the clips I'm starting to like clean up around the house and stuff, get some chores done. I didn't show, also what did I do this morning? It's like afternoon, it's like almost 3 o'clock. I finally did some errands, like drop stuff off to Goodwill. I don't know if you're like me and just have things in your trunk needing to be donated for months, years, maybe. Like, I don't even know. But I finally dropped those off. I also had to go to the post office and drop stuff off. So I took care of those errands. Got some Chick-fil-A for lunch. Felt like a little Cobb salad and the frosted lemonade. So good. Yeah, and then obviously like doing work stuff today. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But yeah, I just ran errands on my lunch break and doing some work, some meetings, all that, and the workday is pretty much almost over. But yeah, I have just been out of it. So I'm trying to get back on track. You know, summer is here. Like the unofficial start of summer is Memorial Day weekend that just passed and was pretty chill. I didn't do that much. Saw Little Mermaid, which was pretty solid, and just chilled mainly. But yeah, so my goal for the summer, I had more of a like fleshed out idea, and I was just like, I'm over it. That's what I do, and I need to stop doing that. I just need to do it. But anyway, my summer plans are to do something like every weekend. Like I want to be outside, you know, out in the city, out in the sun, just doing activities and not just like laying around all summer, right? Which we'll have some days like that, of course. But that's what I really want in the summer. So like this weekend, I plan on starting that off because like I said, summer has officially started to me. We're finally getting good weather. And yeah, so like summer's here. So yeah, I started a summer bucket list like I did last year, which I almost completed last year. I did like a couple things I jotted down, but then I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to make a list per se, but I just have a few things that I'm kind of wanting to do, which they kind of roll over every summer. I usually want to like go to an outdoor movie. I want to go on a hike, that kind of thing. Those are like my main two. I feel like I always want to do. But there's some more things that I'll probably end up doing this summer. But yeah, that's the plan, to be outside all summer long, no matter what. People want to come hang out with me, I'd be like, come hang out. And if not, I'll be doing it by myself because, yeah, I just want to do things, you know, continue to have fun and like be intentional of doing stuff. Yeah, so that's the plan. One of the goals that I had for May was to read 7 books. I don't know. I don't know. I've said this before. Sometimes I just make up random goals, like just out of nowhere. So I'm like, I've been steadily reading 3 books a month. That was like my overall plan for the year. And then all of a sudden I upped it to 50 books. I don't know if you saw my video where I was like reading books, like I'm a booktuber or something. I forgot what I titled that video, but yeah. Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna do 7 books because why not? I literally, okay, I'm gonna count it as 6 books read. One of the books I started a couple months back, but I finally finished it. I talked about it in my that video too. So I'm gonna say 6 books read, finished in the month. So I was 1 short. Like towards the end of the month, I was just like, I'm over it. I don't feel like reading at the moment. I started an audiobook, but like I still had like, I think 10 hours to go. So I could have had 7, like I was just right there, but it's okay because I did my overall goal of 3 books a month and I got close to 7, which is kind of a lot for me. I see those videos, they're like, I read 25 books in a month, and I'm like, how? I mean, I know how. That's all they do is read. Like, I just don't do that. That's my problem. But I'm just happy that I read this much anyway. So I went a mixture of audiobooks, physical books from the library, and on the Kindle. So that's kind of like what I'm starting to do because, you know, just to mix it up for the audiobooks and then the library, because I want to sometimes read a physical book, but like I can't be buying all these books. I just can't do it. So that's why it's a mixture. These are the books that I got from the library. Well, this one I actually own, the rest from the library. I still have one more that I was going to be on my list to read as well for May, but like I told you, by the end of the month I was just over it. So it's okay. I will read that one this month. I'll start with the book that literally took me months to read, and I said in the previous video like I hated it so much, but I bought it, and so I hate not reading a book I bought. But I probably will never do that again. I don't know. Will I never do that again? No, I just feel like if I buy a book, like I must read it. So yeah, I don't really want to talk about this book. I just didn't enjoy it. I thought it was an interesting concept at first, and yeah, it's not even a long book, but I hated it. So yeah, that's that book. I actually had a couple, maybe 3 4-star reads. I'm looking at my Goodreads on my computer so I can remind myself. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 4-star reads. This one I put 2 stars. I don't know why. I should have put 0. And 1 3-star read. Yeah, so pretty good month of reading. This book right here, Emily Henry, popular author. I read People Me on Vacation first last year. It's okay. I really wasn't loving it. Actually, it took me a while to read that book too. And then I was like, let me finish this. And it got better, but really was not vibing with that book. So I gave this person another chance because Happy Place, I think it's called Happy Place, came out in May, and everyone that I see on the feed of BookTube, Book Talk are talking about it like it's a popular book, but I'm gonna be on the wait list forever for it from the library, not buying it. So I was like, well, this is in the library, let's read this one, give it a chance. I actually really enjoyed, I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this more. I don't know, I just like the characters, like a little bit slow at parts, but overall, like, I don't know, it was a fun little read and a little romance and interesting. So I like that one. Then I was like, I need to start mixing it up. I need to go back to some thrillers. So I read Someone We Know. It was on my list for a long time. I don't even know where I came across this one. Basically, like, you don't know your neighbors as well as you thought you did. Like, someone gets murdered in the neighborhood, and then there's a lot of secrets that come out, and you're trying to figure out who murdered the person, and then all the neighbors finding out they're horrible people. No, all the neighbors find out, everyone be having secrets, okay? So yes, I loved it. It was fast paced. I read it pretty much in one day, one night maybe, I can't remember, but I enjoyed it and was like, you know what, I need to read me some more thrillers, okay? So I gave this 4 stars. And then the other thriller that I read vibe of this, same kind of vibe, was, though this one was more lighthearted, I guess, and the next one was for my book club, The Still House Lake. I read that one and I gave that 4 stars as well, and very fast read, one not very long. It's a series, which I was like, do I want to continue? But I probably will, because I don't know, it was very fast paced and interesting, a little more gruesome than this other one, but like it was good. It was a good change of pace from some of the fantasy and romance books I've been reading lately. So I was like, I really need to mix this up, okay? Speaking of fantasy, the other one I got from the library, Once Upon a Broken Heart. This was also on my TBR for a long time, finally read it. I also read this really quick, maybe within 24 hours, like at night and then the next day kind of thing. Because it's really easy to read, but the pacing was really good, so I could keep being like, oh, what's happening? But then as I was reading it and finishing, I'm like, you know what, this actually isn't that great. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, maybe I need more. I think the thing is, I think I said in other videos too, I need more like the YA. Like, I keep reading those and I just think I'm over that, at least right now. Like that juvenile mindset these characters be having, and it be annoying me. Like lately I just hate the characters that I've been reading, and that's a problem, because if I hate the character, I'm gonna hate the book probably. So really wasn't feeling the main character as time went on, but like the overall concept was interesting to me of like, I'm trying to remember, I'm drawing a blank. This girl like always wanting happy endings and stuff, like she's all about true love. I think this one was like fairy tale fantasy mix, like I like that genre, but maybe I need to stop because maybe I need a break. I don't know. But yeah, she was basically like, she's all about true love, happy endings, and then everything unravels because the person she thought was her happy ending doesn't want to marry her, and she like wishes to get something from a magical person, Prince of Hearts, but then it's like chaos assumes from that. So it's an interesting concept, but I don't know. I think it's the love part of it that I'm like, unbelievable how fast that escalated. I don't like, not that, how do I say this? It's not like they fall in love quick, because they're not. But the way she acts, I'm just like, I guess that makes sense because she's all about the fairy tale happy ending. And I'm like, even though I like happy endings, I don't know if I'm making sense. It was not bad, but it wasn't great. And will I continue the series? Each day passes, I'm like, no. That's just how I feel about that. I'm trying to think. Oh, I read the other fantasy, the last book. So that was Still House, Idle Limerence, Someone We Know, Beach Read, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Yeah, 5 books. Okay, so the last book I read in May was Light Lark, another book that people have been talking about for months. Controversy, all things on Book Talk about this author and whatever. I thought it was comical, all the stuff. I mean, some of it might have been true, but it's just the way the world works. I don't know, like people are privileged and get in and they pretend like they came from nothing. I don't know, that's what people do. Whatever. It's like I said, I finally read Light Lark, okay? What did I give it? 3 stars. So far, 3 stars to me is like probably most books I'm gonna give 3 stars because they're just okay books. Like I didn't hate the book, but I didn't love the book. And I probably will not come back to it ever again. So that's why I rate a loss of 3 stars. And that's how I feel about Light Lark. Like pretty typical like fantasy type elements to it from what I know of fantasy books, and kind of borrows from other type of fantasy books, which I think a lot of books do, not just her. So I'm not gonna hold that against her. But yeah, it was just an okay book. Again, I hate the main character, so that just makes it hard for me to love the book because despise the main character. Like, I don't know, like, you know, you're trained for your whole life for this challenge thing to break the curse. Every 100 years, y'all all come together, all the different kingdoms. And I know she was isolated away for a while, but like, I just feel like you're trying to save your people, your kingdom, and the choices she makes, how she acts so rash and just thinks about herself is weird to me. So And there's other things. I just could not stand her. And yeah, like the romance part of it, I mean, I don't know, I didn't care. I just didn't care. Only one character I cared about, because he seemed to be about his business, about his kingdom. Like he was selfless in a sense, because he was trying to save his kingdom. But yeah, a second book will be coming out later this year, I believe. I don't know. I think by the time it gets there, I'm not gonna care. That's how I feel about it. So yeah. Yeah, those are all the books that I read this month of May. I probably will give I'm gonna stick with my 3 books every month minimum, but I probably will read more next for June, probably. We'll see. But those are what I read for the month of June. Wow, I said June, meant May.